Howdy, y'all. Thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of a Kickstarter all-in I just got in, Vindication. I'm zoomed out at the beginning of this to show you the playmat that came along with this, which was way smaller than the box it came in, but you can see why, because it was rolled up to where it was a hexagon. And this is a pretty big box, so it's not like a small playmat by any means. It's just, you can see with the box here, and then you can see a regular playmat here also. So, but just thought I'd show you the playmat because I'm sure the board's going to be in there, but you can see where you're going to be putting things down and different factions and whatnot. So, along with the scoreboard around the outside and around the outside. All right. Okay, we're going to get into this, and I am going to try to go through this as quick as possible, just because there is a lot to this all in. I went back and looked at my Kickstarter because I'm not sure if I have everything. I think so. When I checked on it, everything was there that I saw or could make out from the Kickstarter, but I was a little worried because the side of my box that it all came in was completely ripped open from on the side. Like, I was literally able to pull the promos and everything out from the side of the box, because I always hate when they just throw all the promos and stuff inside the box like that for situations like that. I think everything was there. Didn't look like anything was missing, so hopefully we'll see if everything's there. All right, without much ado, let's get into it because it is going to be a lot. Oh, as I just slid this box instead of doing that. All right, you can see here what Vindication seems to be all about. And as much as it sounds like it's about, I mean, the theme, of course, is in the game. It's just what you think you'd be doing with it seems to just be about getting cubes and whatnot. And I've heard it's just very, very Euro-y, but I've been looking forward to playing this game. Well, I'm going to stop talking and just get into it. You can see there, a game for 2 to 5 players, about 15 to 30 minutes per player for ages 14 plus. And you can see here, separate from my box, it's got these boards. From what I understand, I think these are dual layered boards, but let's check it out and see. I've always heard good things about this game. I've been wanting it, and I finally saw it on Kickstarter, so I was like, all right, let's get it on Kickstarter and get everything. And I would be wrong, it was not the dual layered boards. It was cardboard, which I think Game Trays is the thing that does this. Sometimes they'll do that with the Game Trays stuff because you got to put it all in the trays. But you can see here the thing, it was just kind of double-sided. And this is the black cardboard, I noticed, which is pretty cool. I have been seeing that more with games. Always a little bit more happier when it is the black cardboard. And I'll give you a quick look at this stuff, kind of zoomed in. This was all the cardboard that was the back here. And of course, I'll try to do a video. Well, that's coming out already. But I'll try to do a video, or on this video, I will put all this stuff in the trays and give you a look and see how that all looks. Sorry I had to do an edit there because as I was picking these up so I could show them to you, stuff is just falling out. So let me see if I can do this carefully. Oh, well, as you can see there, yep. It's mostly those big ones. I mean, if you don't know anything about this black cardboard, it's just, I mean, it's like normal cardboard. It just seems like it takes a much more beating. So it's more, I guess, heavy-duty cardboard in my opinion. You're probably going to see the same thing happen here when I flip this one over because I can already see that one wanting to come out. Yep. Oh. And then this thing popping out also. Nope. I'll show you the pieces that fell out of both of these last two sheets. So these. And then we'll get inside the box and get going That way you can see what all this Kickstarter was. That way if you see the Kickstarter and you wanted to get it, you know if you want to get this edition or whatnot. Alright. It does have that nice embossing that I talked about. I see sometimes. And it's very, not like big at all. Like it's kind of right here with his shield and his, guess, can't tell if that's a scarf or a cloak. And then just a few of the flowers and plants there. That's it. That's all it's really embossed. Oh, I guess a symbol. But that's all I see. Yep. Cool. Subtle. And even on the sides. Subtle but small. But alright. The Art and Lore of the Awakening. A Vindication. Just a little book there. Kind of cool. A visual guide rule book. These are actually way smaller than I expect them to be. See the gameplay there. Just to give you a look at the way the rulebook is laid out, words-wise. And then I'm expecting a lot of pages here just because this sounded kind of like a complex style game. Oh, not really. It was about 10 pages. Yeah, about 10 pages. And then we just get into indexes about each card and whatnot. Oh, it's even got the expansions all in here also. That's kind of cool. Or is this the expansions? Actually, this sounds like it might just be the expansions that are included in this box. So, cool, cool. Then the components in the back along with a index on the back. Then we have this for 2 to 3 players. And this for 4 to 5. And then we just have a bunch of empty trays. You can see if they're the game trays. We'll get these all filled up and show you what they look like inside of there. Got a baggie here. Pretty thick cloth. Says scumbag on it. And shows their symbol. Alright, we'll take a closer look at the cards. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to assume player aids because there's 5 of them. So I'm assuming 1 per player. Yep, and there's the player's turn structure. And these are, they're just cardstock, but it's thicker cardstock than what I've seen with some games. Alright, we got some baggies where we'll take some look at some of that, along with the coins. We just have some standees. Some dice we'll take a closer look at. And we just got some miniatures. I'm assuming there's going to be some cardboard up underneath here because otherwise, there's no way just what we saw was all the cardboard. Just to show you the miniatures. Well, looks like there's a smaller miniature underneath that one in comparison to the other miniatures, because you can see size difference there. Pretty detailed miniatures, so... Oh, I didn't finish with all the miniatures. Hey. Yep, from what I understand, the way the game works, it's just a Euro game, but the theme is you are a scumbag who was sent to this island to have to survive and get some vindication. Yep. Oh, maybe it isn't the cardboard, it's the board, which we already saw, so I'm not going to pop it out, but it is a 4-layer, or 4-fold out. That's all that was underneath here was just the old board. Okay, we'll just start off with the simple stuff. A little baggie with some black wooden cubes. And then there were little baggies with, for each player, And you can see it's got just the regular cubes along with I'm assuming a scoring marker or something, but it's got a different symbol. So I'll show you each baggie with the symbol. I just didn't dig them out. Just try to make sure I can eliminate the glare as much as possible. To show you all that. And then there was those dice that I pulled out. And you can see they're pretty big and chunky. And then I thought they were coins. Sorry, just trying to lay them out here. But I noticed they were different color and with symbols. And the same sides on both sides. So just going to show you all of them and lay them out here. Well, actually, these, and then if you flip them over, they're the same. So, and then these have the same sides. But cool. All right, let's get to the cards. I tried to look to see if I could pull the expansion stuff out. I really was not able to. So it looks like it's just because this is the box that has some of the expansions in it. I don't know if that's just the way the base box regularly was or if that was the Kickstarter one. So I can just show you so that you can see the artwork. But it sounds like they're all kind of just interspersed in here. There's some relics. And I can't just go through all of these because this video is going to be long enough already. But when we get to the... Well, actually, I guess I could. That way you can see if it's got some differences. I'm about to say, one of the main reasons I like to do and show everything is so that if it is something you don't have, like you just have the base game and you're looking for expansion stuff to see if you want to add it to your game, you can just see what is actually there to see if it's something before you go out of your way and make sure it's something you want to add into your game. Because it shouldn't take me too long to just flip through these cards real quick, especially when we get to the expansions. That way you can see if each expansion is something you want to add in or not. We got in-game triggers here. Monsters, relics, traits, regions, balance, proficiencies, companions, supremacy, trigger tokens, swiftness, vindication, and all in. Oh, sorry, I'm going to skip over those for a second. We're going to go to infused crystals because it's a much smaller deck. Looks like a crystal per stat maybe. Then we have journey cards. So looks like they used the space, but while keeping the cards pretty small. But that writing, man, I know one of my players is going to have to really go in on that. Pets. So different pets you can get. Monsters. I'm assuming monsters you can run into. The unspeakable. And then loot. Sorry if I'm going a little too fast. Just I know if I take too long, this video is going to be long enough already. We can see here. So there's 3 different decks of companions. So I'm not sure what the difference is. Having not played the game, this is the blue deck of companions. There was a red deck of companions. I think these black cards are supposed to be one of the expansions, because I mentioned something about that they would be mixed up in the decks but have black faces on the borders. Oh, this is the yellow companion deck. Alright, that's all the cards and everything, so we can get into the expansions. First one I'm going to go into is the one that was in the same box with the playmat. It even says the World Box Odyssey. And it even shows here that it's got a 15 card promo pack. Free bonus loot and Odyssey mini module. Oh, put that all on there. Odyssey mini module. This is a skinny, long box. The only one like it in there, but it was in there with, like I said, the playmat. Alright. I saw patch. I wasn't actually thinking a patch. And then, yep, dual layered. I think it said this was the Odyssey mini module. And then we have what I thought was going to be like a metal thing. It was a sticker. And then we got the little rule book talking about how to use this stuff. It even says about the sticker and the patch. But yep, how to use that Odyssey module, rules of the setup. And then we got this little card pack, which we're going to rip open here. Alright, there were just cards inside that pack, which it said 15 cards. We got a yellow and a red companion. And there they are. Then we have a blue companion. Then there were 2 loot cards. Two trait cards. Two relic cards. Two monster cards. And then there are 4 pet cards. So, show these 2 pets first. And then these 2 pets. So that'd be everything that's in the world box. Now before we go into the other expansions, what I'm going to show real fast, I normally don't order the sleeves. I do have sleeves, but so that you know what we're looking at here. So we have these square cards, and it lets you know they're 69 by 69. And it sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 of those. So I'm probably going to need about 500 of the 69 by 69 squares. And then it sent me 100 of the 69 by 120, which I do believe is just tarot. But, Alright, we're going to go into Leaders and Alliance next. And you can see here everything it's going to add in. Lets us know solo adventures, rapport, alternate dice. I don't know. Let's take a look. And like I said, I'm showing you all this before I see what all goes, because I'm going to see if you can fit everything into the base game, into the trays. But then I'm also going to try not to mix up too much stuff, because I don't want to. I want to be able to play the base game and see as each expansion adds stuff, what it adds in. But you can see here, the visual guide. So it just gives you the rule book for the expansion, basically. And then one player solo adventures. And let me see if I can see how many it has in there, because it said Solo Adventure 1. For what I saw, it just said Solo Adventure 1 and 2. And then I just saw Solo Mode Preparation. So weird. These are kind of set differently than normal books, where normally the books are components into the setup, into the gameplay, whereas these go opposite. The last one's the prep, since this is the solo, I'm just using as an example and everything. So, another baggie, which you did mention. It is a larger baggie. Still says Scumbag on it with the same symbol. Much larger baggie, though. Sorry. These, we're going to take closer looks at all these. We have some more standees in different colors. Guess we're going to be taking stuff out of the box over here, not off camera. Sorry. Just trying to get all this out of there. So we got another tray. So it does look like they're planning on you keeping the expansion stuff separate. And here's the trays for all the expansion stuff. Sorry, I just felt like there was something underneath there because it wouldn't go back down in there. Alright, so this is the stuff I took out of there. You can see it says Leaders in Alliance. So there's probably 6 of these. I think that I saw 6 different factions. So these are probably factions that are on the island. 6, yep. So 6 factions on the island. Then we got to punch this stuff out. But that's probably more of the solo mode. This is probably with the actual standees are for, probably the faction leaders. And then we got some tiles. Alright, each faction has 3 of these things, but only one that has their symbol on it, along with a blank. And then each of them come with 2 others that are just blank on both sides. So I'm assuming this is something to where there's going to be a way that you flip things over. Maybe hidden type faction stuff or not. I don't know. That's all that I could assume, but that's the way it was. There was 3 of each, and 2 of them were blank, while the other had a blank and the other side. Then there's a little baggie of this little thing, which kind of looks like water or flame or something. It said alternate dice, so there's the alternate dice. There were 12 cards. We have a blue and yellow companion here as the first 2 I'll show. Then we had red companions here. There's 3 of those. Here's the first 2. Along with this one, we had one that says Solo Adventures. There were 2 trait cards. And then there's 4. And I know this says Solo Adventures also, even though I only showed 1 of this one. I don't know why they had them separate, so I just kept them separate. But there were 4 other Solo Adventures. So I'm just keeping them separate for now, but I got a feeling they were just in there like that. Alright, let me put all this inside of here. Alright, I went ahead and loaded up the tray. There was something I did. So, as you can see there, it kind of puts the dice there. the standees, they lay over each other. There's one black and one white standee for each faction. And then I thought there were 6 factions with 3 of these chits each. But actually I noticed this one was off on its own. And then you can see where the little flame things go. And then the tiles here. I did take the punch outs and put them underneath here because there's a big gap here. So I don't know what they're expecting, because once you put all this in here, all this stuff's just going to be able to fly free. So I don't know. But looks like the cards go right there with the boards over them, along with the book. And then the baggie, which I wonder if that's what those faction things are. They go in there and you just pull them out. But that's everything back in here. But you can see there's a lot of space here. So if this goes on its side, I mean, I guess just the standees and the dice. Everything else is protected, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, there's that. Let's get to the next one. So next we'll go into villages and hamlets. You can see everything it shows it adds in there. Let's take a closer look at all that. So right off the bat, they keep calling it a visual guide. I guess that's the rule book, another word other than rule book. But it lets you know everything in there. You can see just compact words. But for the most part, it looks pretty easy. It's not like it's like a lot of text there. It's just what each thing does. Oh, and that's coming out already, but you can see there's a triangle. Which, in this thing. Along with new player aids. And there's 5 of them. But they say villages and hamlets map regions. So, player aid for each player so they know everything that's getting added in for this. Oh, just trying to get them out of there. Alright. See some more hexes. So these are probably the villages and hamlets. Then villages. It says hamlet. And Dobby's Wish hamlet. Got the cards. It says the loot pack. We have an update that says treachery pack, which are supposed to be the black-faced bordered ones. Along with 2 black standees. Another baggie. This one does not say scumbag on it, but it does show like a little carrot. I wonder if that's the expansion symbol. Alright, we'll start off with the 6 dice. There's 1 for each faction, and I noticed that each dice has 6 sides of the faction specific to each dice, and then 6 blanks. So I'm not going to go and show each side. So it looks like the 6 factions, and each of them have their own dice. We're going to go into the 15 card treachery pack first. We'll start with the red and yellow companion. There's 1 of each of those. There's a blue companion and a loot. There are 4 relics. There's the other 2. There are 4 pets. The other 2 pets. And then there were 3 traits. With the 3rd trait. So all of that was in the treachery pack. I'm going to load that back up just in case I want to try it out separately. And then next we're going to go into the 15 card loot pack. It lets you know it's a 15 card loot pack. I didn't show this on the back, but each of them tells you it's like a 15 card loot pack for Vindication board game specific to the Village and Hamlets module. Does say you need attribute check dice. All these have the same back. They are all loots. So 15 new loots. I'm not going to go through the trouble to punch and load this up. I'm going to see if this will go in there because there's no way. Because once you throw these away, these are just going to be sitting loosely in there. So it looks like maybe they're just giving you all this stuff to keep it in there for now. But then hopefully once you add it into your... Oh, I'm going to keep that just in case I need it underneath. Well, nope, I can't even add it to underneath the insert because it'll push that up. But anyways... Maybe they're just doing that, having a place for you to store it. That way, if you don't like it or don't want it mixed in, you can have a place to store it. I just don't like the idea that you're going to turn it sideways and everything's just going to spill out anyways. So, all right, then we got the last big box before we just get into the promo packs. But you can see it's called Chronicles, which is what the main Kickstarter was for this expansion. So Chronicles here, and it sounds like it's got a pad of character sheets. That makes me think, and the way it's called Chronicles, and maybe I should, really pay attention to what I back when I do it. I just knew I wanted Vindication, so it didn't matter. But this makes me think maybe this is going to make it to where you can keep sheets over time or something. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. Here we go. We got the visual guide here. So it sounds like it's not going to be so much that it carries over. It's just giving you a character sheet to help you document every interesting thing that happens to you. That way you can look back and remember that. If you really had a very memorable experience, like an experience that you really enjoyed as you were playing it, you can look at that sheet and go, yeah, I remember this. That was a cool game. So it's a more story-driven campaign or story-driven expansion, which I'm always down for. So we're just showing you all the cardboard. I'm really more anxious to play this game now. I wanted to play it before, and now that I have it, it's like, let's get this unboxing done and try to get it to the table on Thursday. We will see for our board game night. But then that means I have to read the rule book. Boo. But it didn't look like that bad. But there's your legendary journey. And I don't know if they've got them broken up like this. If there's 5 different pads, that makes sense. But there's 4. Oh, no, there's 5. So 5 different pads. That way each person can just, they don't have to tear off the sheet. You can just write on the pad. So there's 5 pads here. All right, we got a ton of cards, though, which they said story-driven, so you're going to need something that drives the story. So, makes sense. We got some standees I took out of there. Looks like some tuck box envelope type things. It says for solo play, and it says the Shroud on both of them. So, And then another bag of black cubes. All right, let's get into the cards. Okay, so we saw what the bigger cards are for, or bigger card sleeves. We finally got the bigger cards, which you saw me pull out. there were 6 of these, which looks like there's 1 for each stat. Legendary Courage, Strength, Vision, Knowledge, Wisdom, and Inspiration. So, well, I guess something like a goal you can go for each of them if you hit legendary status in them. And then something that makes me really happy in most games, I love random events. You throw something in there that can just shake it up. I love it. Like to see what happens, even if it means I lose the game. But it's about overcoming those events, and you can see this is definitely what's going to make it a little bit more story-driven with the random events, I'm assuming. I know, like I said, I'm going through them pretty fast, but you can see that there's a ton of different types of events that can happen in this. I'm wondering if this Chronicle thing is just a solo experience, which is fine. But then we had a bunch of the cards. We got the Pet Menagerie. And I'm just going to flip through these because it ain't going to really, I don't think it'll make a lot of sense. But it does make sense on the way that card is, because that shroud thing it showed, I think just looking at some of this, I don't know if it works with all the cards, but I think it's so that you can cover up the stuff on the side, and whatever choice you make, then you see what the choice or the consequences or rewards were for your choices. So I'm assuming they do it that way. That way you can read and not see what you do until you make your choices, which is pretty cool. And they got to do the same thing. It looks on all these cards so far. The Gaping Way, same way. So I'm going to assume this is a solo play only, since it said the Shroud for solo play. Then there's the Chronicle Inn. Oh, as I'm going to throw those around apparently. Oh, that makes sense. Duh. They give you the Shroud so if you play in solo play, you could do your stuff. Now this is a thicker deck than the others. This is the thickest one out of them all. But they do that so that I'm sure if it's not solo play, you can have someone else read it and they'll let you know your choices. But if you're solo playing, so you can make your choices without knowing. So makes sense. Duh. Think it out, Aggie. Sorry, that was the curio shop, as I sat there and belittle myself a little bit, but there you go. Then we have the Arcane Tower. So you can see you'll go there and have an encounter like this one, the Wall of Worlds. As you approach the tower, you notice that part of the structure is crumbling. Your tower understanding of this place expands. There are rooms even between the rooms. The magic is visceral. Try to crawl into the claustrophobic crack or slam into the wall to create a larger opening. So, and then the last of the deck is Tomb of the Ancients. But yeah, I'm very hyped for this one, actually. I like my story-driven games. So, let's see what that all adds. But let's put all this up and get into those promos, because I'm sure this video's been long enough already, even with the editing. Alright, so we got the first community pack, and I went ahead and just popped them open real fast. This is the one that's going to say community pack. It says 2019 there. This does say it's 12 brazenly unplay-tested cards designed by the community. Don't trust them. Don't know how I feel about that. Literally, there's a game I complain about that feels bad to me because they did that. But, yeah. Alright, so we got a relic in there. And then we got a red and blue companion. And then once again, they had these separated, but 2 yellow companions. And I'm going to keep them separated again. because that's what you have to do. You have to keep them separated. We got the monster. 2 of those. 2 traits. And then 2 pets. And I'll see if that was just a joke saying they were unplay tested. Because if it is true, I'm not mixing those in. But, alright. So that was that pack. Next we have the next year's, which was called Winter Tide. Says 15 bone-chilling cards for Vindication to warm your frozen heart. That's cold. We know. So I'm assuming that that was all jokes and stuff, just like they joked there. So we got a blue and yellow companion here. We got a red companion and loot. We have 2 relics. We have 2 pets. We have 4 monsters. Here's the other 2. And then we have 3 traits. Along with the last trait here. The next one says Community Design Promo Pack for the next year, 2021. Once again, it says the same thing. Untested cards conceived by the wild minds of the community during a live Kickstarter campaign. And we got a blue and a yellow companion. We have a red companion. We have 2 loots. We have 2 pets. We have 3 monsters. Here's 2 more monsters. And then there's the other monster with a relic. We have a trait and another pet that was off by itself. Oh, foily. Now I want to add it even if it is busted. Foily. And maybe that's why these are separated, because I kept them separated again. We have a yellow and a red that were separated also, and yep, look, they're foily. I didn't notice that that other one was foily. I don't think it was. Then we have this pack, and then we still have some more promos that are for, they're called pair promos. Contains the OG 12 promotional and alternate art cards for Vindication. We have a loot and a relic. We have 2 pets. We have 4 traits. Here's 2 of them. Here's the other 2 traits. And then we have 4 monsters. Along with the last 2 of those 4 monsters. And these are called the promo pairs. They're for brand awareness, basically, where they were promos from the Dice Tower, Man vs. Meeple, Board Game Spotlight, and Board Game Revolution. which means I probably have some of these. I back the Dice Tower pretty frequently on Kickstarter, so I probably got their promos unless they're different. And so I'm going to do some editing here as I bring up, because I got the page up. I'm kind of looking so I can see which one's which. So this pair is the Board Game Revolution ones. It came with a trait and a companion. This one's the Dice Tower one, and I knew it by just looking at the companion, but we got companion and relic here, and I saw Suzanne and Mandy, and I didn't see the other one until now, the Rice Tower, which makes sense. This one's going to be the Man vs. Meeple. It comes with a companion and relic, Anthology of Awareness, and the Town Pundits. And the last one's the Board Game Spotlight. It says it comes with a blue and red companion. So I realized I actually forgot a few things. There were 2 of these metal coins or metal things. Not sure what those are for. I didn't see something that they replace. And then there was this Tuk Tuk Boulder Hulk promotional miniature. And inside there it's just a miniature, which I'm assuming goes in this box. There is a gap here. If I remember right, I saw Tuk Tuk as far as the solo went. So maybe he is the solo. And then there was Tuk Tuk Boulder Hulk Awakened. Which is just a much bigger miniature. And then as far as the insert goes, I think I got it right. I'll show where you can see like the tiles go down in there. And then I loaded up this tray. Oh, I was making a mess. I loaded up this tray with the cardboard there, the dice, all the cardboard there, the 4 metal circular coins, the black cubes, and the dice. And I'm assuming, I'm just going to put this under there. That kind of goes over that right there. And then as far as the cards, I mean, once they're sleeved up, it does feel like there's a little bit of room there, but not much. So I don't know. Let's see. Once it's sleeved up, it'll probably just be sitting flat. And then I noticed one whole section doesn't even have anything. But, all right. And then here's where I felt a little worrisome, because I couldn't figure out how to get these in. Only because this looked like this cardboard should go down in here, which I'm sure it does. There's no other way this would go in there. It's just, I literally had to sit there and you kind of got to like force it down in there a little bit. So that means if anything happens to this box, you're probably crushing that cardboard. And then these kind of just sit on top of that like such. I put that Tuk Tuk in there. I don't know where to put this Awaken. I guess I could look underneath there and see if there was another spot. Actually, it might sit like that, kind of flat, but cool. Definitely a game I'm not going to put on its side. Oh, I got to figure out a thing. I guess I can show you inside of these trays, the setup basically. So I did see it, those metal things, I think replaced. I put them underneath the insert, so I'm not going to take it back out, but there were some cardboard colored things. So it looked like this, you look down here, this is all your cubes and that little circular thing, along with the metal, which I didn't see something for that, but that's, I think, is the way that's supposed to go. And then all this just sits down inside that tray for each color. And I kind of just made a guess. I don't know if these change. I mean, they were all the same, so I guess you could change them throughout the colors. I just kind of went with book. And it kind of looked like a knowledge thing, but anyways, I do not know, like the cards may go in here. I do not think the extra tiles will. So I do think it's going to be, you got to keep the expansions separate. But it does look like everything will go up. I didn't forget the books. But anyways, I think that's the way everything's going to go in there. I know this video was long enough, so I'm just going to end it here. But cool. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.